Hi friends, hi friends, hi friends, how are you? Welcome to my urban jungle. I am so excited to see everyone tonight. Hi Priscilla, hello Catherine, hello Jessica. Welcome to your very first Periscope broadcast. I'm so excited to see you. Hi Larissa, hi everyone that are jumping in. It is going to be a jam-packed power hour. Hi Jess. So I hope you are buckled up because we have so much to cover tonight. If you are new around here, this is your virtual welcome wagon. Hi Priscilla, hello, hello. I am Fiddly LaMay and I want to personally welcome you to my Periscope broadcast number 209 of my Throw It Out Thursday series. This is the Urban Jungle in case you missed it. Hey Lindsay, hello everybody. And if you are new to my channel, you have a lot of catching up to do. I am a certified essential oil specialist. I'm an essential oil educator, a platinum global team leader with doTERRA International, and I am also AromaTouch and Symphony of the Cells certified. Hello, Beth. And I cannot believe that we're already into June and now we've gotten into this rhythm with quarantine life. And tonight we're going to be focusing on something that so many people don't really think twice about, but it's improving your air quality in your house with houseplants. And they're like a wireless air purifier. Houseplants are not just cute and pretty, hello, hello, but they are actually workhorses and they are friends with benefits, if you would like to say. And I want to empower you by changing the narrative because there are so many people that have reached out to me over the years. I've been a crazy plant lady for a while now. This is not new, but many of you have been asking me to put together, hi mom, put together and synthesize all of my favorite plant tips into a broadcast for you. And so this is going to be a jam-packed time. So, but there's so many people that when you reach out to me, you say, oh, you know, I have a black thumb. I don't have a green thumb. Every plant that I bring home dies. I don't know what to do with them. And there's a totally huge opportunity there. Hey, Kaylin, there's a huge opportunity there because sometimes we're afraid of things that we don't know. So the unknown is terrifying sometimes, right? Or we have this perception that maybe because one time we brought a plant home and it did not do well, that means every plant we ever bring home isn't going to do well. And guess what? Maybe that plant had bugs. Maybe that plant already had root rot before you got it. Maybe the pot didn't have drainage hole and maybe you didn't know that you should look for that. And when you know better, you can do better, just like what we do with essential oils. So I want to empower you by changing that narrative, and any of you, every one of you, all of you can have a green thumb. It just takes a little bit of time, just like bringing these tools of doTERRA into your home and kicking all the chemicals to the curb little by little. So it's really awesome. Oh, thank you, Kaylin. I've been waiting to wear this little wrap with little Monstera leaves until my Plant Lady broadcast, so it was totally time. Hi, Kathy. And I love spoiling you always and forevermore for being such an amazing community. So I have a special little giveaway for one of you amazing viewers tonight. It is one of my favorite little mini reference guides all about houseplants and the Grow Girl Mist that we are going to make tonight. This is just a little travel version so that it ships easily without breaking. But this guide by Heather Rodino is called How to Houseplant, a beginner's guide to making and keeping houseplant friends. And I love this book. I dropped my little baggie, but I love this reference guide and it covers so much ground and it's really small, it's pocket size, but it goes into so many things, into a little bit deeper than we're gonna be able to get to tonight because we only have an hour or so and I don't wanna keep you. I know you guys have an abundant schedule as well and I wanna make this time really jam-packed for you. So we're like a Porsche with no brakes. We're gonna go full steam ahead, but if you do not win the giveaway, I'd love for you to snag this book. It is in my Amazon favorites. And if you need the link for that, you can go to my website, FiddlyLamay.com. You can go to any of the vortexes on my Instagram and find that, or just message me directly and I'd be happy to link you up with that. But the book is beautiful. It's really easy to read. It's a beginner's guide, so it's not going to be overwhelming. It's in really great layman's terms speak for helping you understand just simple practices for bringing houseplants in and keeping them thriving. So I'm excited for one of the lucky winners to get that. So just to enter, you can either comment during the broadcast and engage anything that you want to say, plant related, or just anyone that comments, anyone that's watching this live is going to be entered. And then if you're on Instagram, you can also enter there for another entry. You can tag your friends and you can comment with what your favorite plant is or something you struggle with being a houseplant owner, any of those things. And then I will be sharing the winner of that before 11 p.m. Eastern tonight over on Instagram. So I love carving out this time for us, this cozy nook of the interwebs, to teach you how to become a label reading gangster and a plant parent. So we're going to refresh the space that we are spending so much time in our home with greenery, and we kick chemicals to the curb, we kick toxic habits to the curb, we opt for a healthier lifestyle choice, and no matter what is happening around us, okay? And oh, Julie says her plant life is so much better because of you. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome, Julie. I would love for you to share with me some of your photos so that I can share them on Instagram. That would be awesome. I can't wait to see your plant friends. But no matter what's happening in the world, we can find these little pockets of joy that make us happy and that are healthy and that are good for our home. And I have found that I love making my home feel like I'm bringing the outside in. So if you've ever been here, you know that green is one of my favorite accent colors that we like to use in our home decor. And plants are a lot less expensive, most of the time, a lot less expensive than high-end artwork or home decor from like super pricey retail establishments, right? And so plants, you can just switch them up, you can move them around, you can watch them grow, you can have small ones, little ones, teeny ones, huge ones, and they add a lot of personality and depth to your home. And when we lived in our townhouse for 8 or 9 years, it was really dark. There weren't a lot of spots that I could grow plants. So in the windows that I had, hi Cecilia, in the windows that I had plants like stuck in that one little corner, of the window in the living room and then in the kitchen. And if you watched my Periscopes from back in the day, 2015, 2016, and 17, before we moved here, you saw that I didn't have a lot of space for plants, but I did what I could with what I had. So as our environment shifts, then we can shift, and we can also just breathe new freshness into our home by bringing some of the outside in. And we can use our oils to do that too, and to keep them healthy without chemical growth hormones. I mean, there's rooting hormone for when you want to propagate plants and stuff. It's kind of crazy. So I have been able to tap into a small group of oils that have been incredibly powerful for growing my plants healthy and green and fresh. And I feel confident that there are things that Olivia can help me with. She can help spray the plants with me. She can help make these blends with me, and it's really fun to incorporate that. So I'm excited for you to just be along this journey with me and watch your plants grow. And it's really a journey. It's a journey of patience. And so I'm excited to bring you along with me on that. And my channel here is just all about showing you how you can use your oils in so many versatile ways with ease, with fun, and with confidence, and integrating them into the landscape of our daily routine. And if you've been around with me for a while, you know that plants are a really big part of my daily routine. I love just wandering around the house. I love looking at them. I love observing them and seeing new growth. And it's fun for Olivia to appreciate nature from a young age and learn how to harness her own abilities to observe and to make predictions and maybe make hypotheses about what the plants are going to do and where to place them and moving them around. So it's just a lot of fun, and I think you're going to really enjoy all that I have for you today. So we can use houseplants to create that fresh environment and just to keep ourselves and our mood, our emotions healthy. And I would love for you to share this broadcast if you'd like to do that. You can tap the 3 dots at the bottom of the screen. That just allows you to share this broadcast across your Facebook and your Twitter and your Periscope. And then you can tap the bottom as well to send me a little heart, and that just lets me know that you're enjoying this time in the urban jungle at Chateay LaMay. And you can catch the replay. So I'm going to be talking fast because I have a lot that I want to share with you tonight. But if you miss anything, you can go back and fast forward through, anything that you don't need to watch, and then you can fast forward to what you do need. But you can ask questions, join the dialogue by commenting during the broadcast. And if I don't get a chance to answer your question, you can always message me afterward. And I love holding space for you in the cloud. So let's dive in. Now tonight, our plant power hour is packed. We're going to move quickly, so I hope you're ready. First, I'm going to walk you through a few of the health benefits of houseplants, because most people don't realize that there are truly hardy, punny, I have a lot of puns, but there are really serious health benefits that go along with owning houseplants. And so you're going to realize that it's not just about vanity, but it's about so much more than that. Then I'm going to show you my top 10, and that was really hard to do because I have like 60 plants in my house. But I narrowed it down for you to my top 10 favorite, easiest, lowest maintenance houseplants, and just giving you some tips on all of them, like what kind of light they like, and any of my favorite amazing little nuggets about each of them. Because it's important that when you bring houseplants in, you want to get to know them, you want to observe them, you really want to. And being home during quarantine, and probably being home for the next foreseeable future, more than we ever were before, is giving you the gift of time that maybe you never had before. Maybe you didn't feel like you could hold space in your day for putzing around the house and looking at houseplants. But when you see, when you hear, and you are a part of all the benefits, and you start to realize that, I'm hoping that it changes your perspective a little bit. And then I'm going to demo my Grow Girl Healthy Leaf Mist and my Plant Shine solution that went viral on Instagram. You guys loved it. I'm going to show you the Grow Girl Mist in my little green sprayer, which just makes me think of like I Dream of Jeannie or something, but I just love it. It's so cute and fun. And then I'm going to refill my Plant Shine cleaner because I am empty on this, so that was perfect timing. So we're going to have fun demoing those things so that if you are not sure, you can always come back and fast forward to the demo portion. So it's super easy. These are very, very simple demos. Anybody can do them. You can get your kids involved as well. And then we're going to wrap it up with a few of my best practices, some tools, some printables, and your green thumb is going to be showing before you know it. I am so excited for everything today. Now, and I also, as I mentioned, I have some printables that you're going to really love because this kind of helps conceptualize it and helps you get your kids involved in it. So I'm going to show you these in a little bit, but I wanted to just preview that because I know you guys love little printables and digital downloads and tracker sheets, and that's like one of my love languages. I love being organized and helping facilitate these changes. So you can download them. I'll share a link with you over on Instagram, over on Facebook. If you need the link, you can reach out to me directly. If you're not on Instagram or Facebook, I got you covered. But first, a little disclaimer. We do not own pets right now. And Olivia is 8 years old. She's been taught for many years to respect and honor plants, both at our home, at other people's homes. So if you have little ones that are very curious, that like to put things in their mouth, or like to touch everything, or you have pets that are very active all over the house, be sure to do your own research and pick which ones are best for your specific scenario. I'm just simply here to share with you my favorite plants, what we have in our home, but in no means is this a end-all be-all. I am not a plant expert. I am just sharing with you my practical tips, what I've learned along the way. But there are many plants that are toxic to pets if they eat them. And so you just want to keep that in mind, just like out in nature. You know, you don't go eating poison ivy. You don't go eating every plant that you see. You want to be aware of that. So just a little disclaimer, because I feel like compelled to share that with you, just to say that. So first, the benefits of houseplants. There are so many. Does anyone want to breathe easier? Yeah, I'm sure we all do, right? And so when you breathe in, you're taking in oxygen. And when you breathe out, you're releasing carbon dioxide. And during photosynthesis, plants are able to absorb that carbon dioxide and they release oxygen. So this makes them our perfect natural soulmates and house guests, right? This is awesome. Like, we want as many of these house guests in our lives. They're our lobster, right? This is like so cool. And so, oh, do you guys hear the frogs? It's frog time. It's frog happy hour. It's frog yappy hour, excuse me, because we are in the jungle. So I probably should have invited them in to join me. But as you can imagine, like, and this is just so exciting. So literally, like, I want you to breathe on your plants, like, hi plants, how are you? I mean, it sounds silly, but when you talk to your plants, when you look at your plants, when you're chatting with your kids about, wow, look at how much this plant has grown, and you're breathing on it, it's actually really important for your plant. You should be talking to your plants and breathing on them because you're giving them what they need. And it's this cool symbiotic relationship, just like the frogs are having out there, where you're giving them what they need and they're giving you so much of what we of what we need as well. And so it's really, really cool. So by adding plants to various rooms in your house, you're increasing your oxygen levels. And so this is something that you might not have ever known, and unless someone told you or unless you learned it in school, this is new to you. Like, this is mind-blowing stuff. This is really cool, right? Hi, Donna. Yes, party in the plants. And so as you can imagine, at night, photosynthesis takes a pause, right? Because there's no sunlight. But the cool thing, there's another little fun fact, is that succulents, one of the reasons that succulents are so popular is because a few plants like succulents and orchids, they actually continue to produce oxygen during the night. So you want to put these plants in your bedrooms to refresh the air during the night when you sleep. So maybe you have a little shelf in your bedroom or on your dresser, and you can put an orchid, or you can put some succulents. This is a string of pearls, one of my favorites, and you can put a little string of pearls on your nightstand, or wherever you want to. But I just thought that was so cool, right? Like, how awesome is that? That in the dark of night, these plants are giving us what we need while we're sleeping. Like, how special is that? And then we're breathing out, and they're receiving that carbon dioxide, and they're continuing to produce oxygen during the night. So that is really cool, okay? Yes, Kaylin, I know, and I know that you are an awesome plant mom too, and you love succulents. So this is another reason why succulents are so popular everywhere. Second health benefit, does anyone want to increase their humidity? Yes, okay, so I have my little Salima Hydrometer here, 47% humidity in the amazing lab right now. And plants release moisture vapor, which increases the humidity of the air around them. And plants release about 97% of the water that they take in. So if you place several plants together, then you can increase the humidity of your room. So you can have like a wireless humidifier. And that's really amazing, because if you've been following me for a while and you've been watching my Periscopes, you know that it is really important to have the proper humidity in your space. And we want our relative humidity to be 40 to 50% all the time. And so 45% to 50% is really more ideal. You want to go on the higher end. And we just went up because we are surrounded by plants. How cool is that? So this is a little Salima Hydrometer. I get this from Stadler. I have a coupon code. If you need that, let me know afterward. I'm happy to share that with you. But how fun is that? So if you want to increase your respiratory support and increase the humidity of your home, you can help your respiratory issues by having more plants around you all the time. In your office, in your kitchen, in your kids' play area, in the classroom, the virtual classroom now, wherever you are, you can have plants. And this is gonna help keep your respiratory issues managed. Viruses cannot live in higher humidity. And that's also kind of why people say flu season, because it's the colder weather months when these viruses are living in the air. And so many published studies, like the one at the Agricultural University of Norway, actually documented that using plants inside your house decrease the incidences of dry skin, of colds, of sore throats, of dry coughs. So you guys, you can see how, like, this is so special, because plants give us what we need. We give plants what they need. And then it goes so much deeper, and then we get to incorporate our essential oils, because we're using our essential oils at nighttime in the diffuser. We're rolling them on our body. We're applying them to our skin. We're taking them internally. So it's like this amazing relationship between plants and humans. And so often we hold this divide, and we feel like, no, I kill plants. I can't own plants. I'm not going to go there. And you're shutting yourself off to all these incredible health benefits. So I'm hoping that this will allow you to hold space for opening your heart a little bit. Just open your heart chakra up to 1 or 2 plants, and I'll help you through the way. So, message me if you need a little pep rally when you bring your plants home. So next one. Anyone want to purify the air? Okay, so plants remove toxins from the air. So per NASA, okay, that's about 87% of the volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, every 24 hours. So VOCs are the substances that give you that plastic smell, like things like a plastic shower curtain or an inner tube that you buy for the pool, anything with formaldehyde in rugs, vinyl, cigarette smoke, grocery bags, benzene found in like ink cartridges, solvents, and some paint. Those things have VOCs in there, okay? So the NASA research discovered that plants purify that trapped air by pulling those contaminants into the soil, where the root zone microorganisms convert the VOCs into food for the plant. So this is like the epitome of trash to treasure. They're the ultimate masters of repurposing. So you are seeing why Mama Hilsey and plants are like this. We are like best buddies, because I love repurposing things. Plants love repurposing things. Plants are taking trash and turning it into food. And so are we, because we're taking what the plants are giving off and we're breathing it in. It is so cool. It is really, really cool. Okay, the next one, does anyone want to improve their health overall? Okay, so it might seem like just a nice gesture to maybe send plants when someone's in the hospital or a friend isn't feeling well, but did you know that according to researchers at Kansas State University, because I love bringing you guys all the knowledge, that adding plants to hospital rooms speeds the recovery rate of surgical patients. This is mind-blowing stuff. So don't take it lightly when someone sends you a plant and you're in the hospital or you just had a surgery or something like that. That is like a huge gift. That really is, because first of all, it's not going to die like flowers might, which flowers are beautiful and they still help you, but that plant, you can take it home. Once you get out of the hospital, you can take it home and then it can continue serving you. So that is really neat. Now also, the study compared patients in rooms with plants and without plants. And then the patients in the rooms with plants requested less pain medication, they had lower heart rates, they had lower blood pressure, they had less fatigue, they had less anxiety, and you can imagine the anxiety of being in the hospital now more than ever. But if you had a surgical procedure, you would not be feeling happy, you want to go home. And so they were also released from the hospital sooner when they had plants in the room in this study. Okay, and then another workplace study was done by the Dutch Product Board for Horticulture, and the study discovered that adding plants to office settings, wait for it, decreases fatigue, decreases colds, decreases headaches, decreases coughs, sore throats, and flu-like symptoms, of course, because you're boosting the humidity, you're improving the air quality, of course, and sickness rates went 60% lower. They fell by 60% in offices that had houseplants. You know, just live, I mean, they're not houseplants, they're office plants, but in offices that had indoor plants. So your boss, if you have a job outside the home, your boss should encourage you to bring plants back to your office after quarantine if you are planning to go back to a facility and work and not work at home. You will absolutely need to bring the study to your boss's attention. Yes, you really, really do. So this is so cool, right? Because if we have plants at home and they're improving our health, and we have plants in the hospital and they're improving our health, and we have plants in our workplace and they're improving our health, this is really awesome information. So oils from distilled version that we use, in essential oil version, obviously, and then the plants in their natural form. It's so cool that we have all these options. We can choose our own adventure in so many ways. And then the last but not least, the last benefit is, does anyone want to sharpen their mental focus? Yes, I'm sure we all do, okay? So a study at the Royal College of Agriculture in England found that students showed 70% greater attentiveness when they were taught their lessons in classrooms that had plants. In the same study, attendance was also higher in lecture rooms that were given in classrooms with plants. So if you are a professor, if you are a teacher, if you're an instructor, then you can give this gift to you for your own mental focus, but also for your students to increase their mental focus. So I think this is awesome. Comment below if you think this is cool. If you don't, I'm sorry, you can go do something else, but I think this is really, really cool. And I love learning about plants. I think it's just so neat at every twist and turn. Super fun. So switching gears a little bit, how do we know how many plants is right for you? Because at this point, you all probably want 1,001 plants in your house, because I know I do, right? I want to live in a solarium. I want to live in a jungle. I want like a wall of plants where I have to like open it like a curtain to go into the room, right? I mean, that is just so fun. And so we obviously want the more the merrier with all this mind-blowing information. I mean, obviously, right? But seriously, the recommendations depend on your goal and on your home environment. So to improve your health, to reduce fatigue, to reduce stress, you want to place a large plant, about an 8-inch diameter pot or larger, which is about this big. I have a lot of plant friends here to show you, so I will grab this, my ZZ plant. This is about an 8-inch pot. Can you see me still? This is about an 8-inch pot. So you want, it's like a size of a medium saucepan. So you want about one 8-inch diameter pot or larger plant in every 1 to 130 square feet of your home. So in an office setting, home or outside the office, you want to position the plants so that everyone has greenery in their view, right? So If you are, facing the door, maybe you can have a plant in the corner. You don't want the plants only behind you, but you want the plants kind of so that you can see them when you glance up and you gaze over and you can admire your beautiful handiwork with your greenery. You want to make sure that plants can be seen by all the people in all the places. So in the break room, maybe in the lobby, which is another reason maybe why a lot of businesses have plants in the lobby. It's very welcoming and it's calming and it's nice and it's relaxing. And then to purify the air, you want to use about 15 to 18 plants that are about 6 to 8 inch in diameter pots for every 1,800 square foot house. So if you have an 1,800 square foot house, about 15 to 18 plants. If your house is bigger than that, then you can double that. But that's about one larger plant for every 100 square feet. So depending on the space you have, you can do that with 2 smaller plants, 4 to 5 inch pots, kind of like this little guy. But you're going to find what resonates with you, but start small. You don't need to go buy 10 plants right now. I know it's tempting, but it's nice to add to your collection. You learn so much, just like bringing oils into your home. It's really nice to do that gradually, little by little, so that you learn those oils and those oils become just like little friends, and when you need to reach for who, it's the same thing with your plants, that which plants thrive in your space, how their growth pattern is, and the needs that they have. And again, if you are working at home, or if your kids are learning at home virtually coming up in the fall here, which most of our kids probably will start out that way at least, then you can establish some plants like you can't see off camera, but if you've seen any of my other photos, we have a whole classroom set up in Olivia's playroom on the other side of the kitchen. So one side of me is the living room, and then the other side of me is her playroom that we turned into a classroom because she just loves playing teacher. And this year it was very convenient because she had a classroom already set up for her. But we have about 10 or 15 plants right where she can see them when she's working every day. And so she loves them. She can watch them grow and she can make observations, and it's really fun. So like I said, we probably have about 50 or 60 plants total in our house, but some of them are little. A lot of them are in little propagation vases, and the other ones are larger that are more staple pieces in the home. So, just starting small with 1 or 2 is going to be really fun. Okay. So now we're going to switch gears a little, and we've established why plants are amazing friends with benefits. We use them in doTERRA with our distilled down bottles of oil, right? Okay, and Nayuli matches my outfit, so how cute is that? And we know that they can support us from head to toe with our health. So of course, we can use them in their natural form as decor, but also as workhorses too. So for the best success with any houseplant, you need to match the right plant with the right growing conditions, okay? So we're gonna touch on plant lighting just for a second so that you can have a really good frame of reference. Yes, oils and plants are the best. We love them all. Now, too much or too little light can quickly stress out your plant. So this can make it more prone to disease. It can be more prone to getting pests. And most plants come with a little label card with information about their sunlight preference. So keep that card. And if you have a little Ziploc bag or a little silicone baggie, or you have a little box or a little tin or anything, any little baggie, whatever you might have, keep all of those, because that's something I regret. As I started learning about plants, I did not do that. And thankfully now I found a smartphone app that gives me all the information I need, and I can actually identify any plant with that app. But before that existed, or if you don't want to download another app on your phone, just keep all those little cards in a little baggie, and then you'll be able to refer back to it as you're learning, or as you're filling out your tracker sheets and your some of these printables that I have for you. You'll be able to kind of identify some of those growth patterns through the weeks and the months, and that will be really fun, being able to know, okay, what kind of growth pattern is this going to need? What kind of plant, what kind of light does this need, and what kind of environment am I going to be giving it, and what kind of fuss is this going to require? So trial and error is really important too. I want you to embrace that. Embrace the unknown, and know that if you get into a bind and you need help, just message me. I'll be happy to help you. But it's part of the growth curve. So just like when we brought oils home for the first time, we had no idea what fractionated coconut oil was. We had no idea what a roller bottle was. We didn't know any of those things. And if you're watching this and you don't know and you want to bring oils into your home, reach out to me. I'd love to help you and get you started with the basics. But it all starts somewhere. So just like we learned in the beginning about lemon, lavender, and peppermint, we learn about houseplants in the same way. We just take it one step at a time. And the cool thing is plants start out small and then they grow. And so does our knowledge about plants. So that's really cool too. So to figure out if a houseplant will be happy in your space, it's really helpful to know what kind of light you have in your home. So you can download a compass app and walk around your house and figure out which is west, which is north and south and east, and you can kind of observe the light in your home throughout the day. But bright light is where it's like a sunny southern western facing window that receives direct light all day long. So where the light is pouring in the house and it's really bright there, you would want those plants to get about 5 to 6 hours of sunlight each day, maybe more. Now, this can be hard to accomplish during the winter, but try to resist the temptation to move those plants to the window, because the window is cold. So the cold air is gonna shock your plant, and that's not gonna be good either. So most plants need bright light, but they won't be able to handle that cold draft that is gonna happen if you put them closer to the window in the wintertime. So, again, it's trial and error a little bit. You can maybe prop them up on a stand, or if you have a box or some furniture, maybe you can prop them up so they're getting into that light area. Now, indirect light is places in your house with an east-facing window or in an interior room of your house that receives pretty full light from a south or west-facing window. So in our guest room, for example, our guest room gets so much awesome light. So sometimes when I bring plants home, and when I was testing out my leaf mist, I sequestered some of my new plants to the guest room because it gets really nice, warm, sunny light all day long, and it's a great place to just kind of get plants going if they really need that boost of, bringing them home from the garden store. You don't know what kind of trauma they've had before they've come to you. So you want to give them all your TLC. And so that is a great opportunity for you to walk around through your home around 8 o'clock, around noon, and then around 4 o'clock to kind of see where the sun is shining. And that can give you some ideas of where you can place your plants that you might not have thought of. And then for low light, many rooms probably qualify as low light, especially in the wintertime. Rooms with north-facing or partially shaded windows would qualify as a low light situation. So if you can't easily read a book, it's probably low light. Like if you need to turn the light on to read a magazine or something, then it's probably low light. So an easy way to remember is that indirect light is where the sun's rays are not directly hitting it, right? So it's indirectly lighting it. And an easy way to remember is that the area that is still light, but where the sun reflects off of it or is refracted through other objects before it's actually hitting your plant. So it's not like the sun is just right down on your plant, but the sun is coming from another spot in your home and it's brightening up your plant, okay? So just take a look at your rooms, like I said, at those pivotal times of day, 8 o'clock, maybe noon, and then around 4 or so, and you can see what's happening. And then using that compass app will help you too, because you can identify which spots would be really great for you putting plants, okay? So now we're gonna dig into my top 10 low maintenance houseplants and their light needs, because I wanna make sure that we get to everything tonight. So the first one is pothos. Now this is like classic first starter plant. This is like just the best suggested houseplant to start with. This is what I started with, and I have several pothos now, and they're gigantic. I couldn't fit them on the screen, so I have a couple smaller ones that I wanted to show you tonight. So this is pothos, and it's really pretty. They love to hang and drape, which is fun because it also makes it possible for you to do clippings and propagate your own, and we'll talk about that in a second. But these have waxy, leathery, heart-shaped green, streaked, or golden yellow leaves. They come in all different kinds. So I have a propagation that's in a different kind of format. So this one has more variegated leaves, but this is also a pothos. And I'm gonna put this over here. And they like indirect natural light and also low light. So for people that maybe feel like they don't have the right kind of light for lots of houseplants, you may be very surprised that you can really grow pothos very beautifully. And they can trail as long as 20 inches in their natural habitat, which is pretty amazing. So that's why I like to put pothos on a little stand planter like this, because then you can let its reverie kind of shine on a surface or like a shelf or any kind of stand. It's really nice to let those leaves drape down, and great for hanging baskets, great for ledges. Okay, so that's our pothos, and I'm gonna just put this over to the side so I can make room for the next one. All right, so the next one is probably my absolute favorite. I mean, I don't wanna play favorites, but like I really like this a lot. Okay, and then this one is the ZZ plant, or the Zanzibar plant, and I have 3 Zanzibars now. Actually, wait, 4. maybe 4. But I love this ZZ plant. Let me move my string of pearls out of the way because this is just like so beautiful. I love ZZ. This is so awesome. So this is, the nickname is Zanzibar or Fortune Tree. And these have very glossy, thick, textured leaves. The leaves sprout like spindles and they unfold in symmetrical feather stems. Really, really neat. So I want to show you, I hope you guys can see. Okay. Look at this. This is so cool. I'm going to like part the Red Sea. Can you see this cool spindle? Okay. So this is a spindle and this is what happens when the leaf is growing. And when it's done unfurling, it looks just like this because this one actually just unfurled. You could tell because it's the lighter green. These are some of the darker leaves and then this is a lighter green. And you can see that these leaves are a little bit smaller than the rest because they're brand new. But they unfurl like in these cool geometric patterns and I love them so much, and all the ZZs that I have right now are blooming, are like coming up with spindles. Really, really special and really cool. So it's really fun to observe your plants because you can see they're growing, and then like 3 days later you start to see them one leaf at a time. It's like a domino effect, like one leaf at a time unfurls, and this was like that, and then it just unfurls one at a time like a domino. It is so cool to watch, and Olivia gets a kick out of it and I get a kick out of it, and it's really fun. So if you want a really cool plant that loves to grow, get a ZZ plant because they grow really fast, I think, and it's like you get an awesome payoff of watching them grow. So I'm going to put my ZZ to the side, but oh, also Olivia left me a little note. She said, "I love you, Mom, so much." So cute. Okay, so ZZ is awesome. Now ZZ likes bright indirect light, and ZZ plants are great for the home office. Now they're also great for good fortune and for good luck. So you definitely want a ZZ plant in your office, and you definitely want a ZZ plant in your living room or in your kitchen area, like anywhere to the side. But they're really hardy. They're really hard to kill. And that was one of my second plants. And the one ZZ plant that I have in my living room, that if you saw my doTERRA video, it's massive. It's really big. I actually want to start learning how to use moss poles so that I can have it go up because it's really large and it's kind of like going out to the side and it's taking up a lot of space. But Zanzibar ZZ plants are really fun and they're super glossy, so the payoff is awesome, and they are very easy to maintain because you can just kind of leave them alone and they do their thing. So that's the second one. Third one is a snake plant, okay? Snake plant is also like super easy and super hardy. They have stiff, long, sword-shaped, tall leaves. Now, funny nickname, these are nicknamed mother-in-law's tongue. Okay, I thought that was funny. These like bright, indirect sunlight, and they're great for living rooms and kitchens. They absorb kitchen odors, so if you tend to burn dinner, then you are really gonna like a snake plant. And I have another snake plant in my living room that's also like about 2 years old. So the big ZZ plant I have, that was our very first house plant that we bought when we moved in, and it's huge. So it's almost 3 years old. And then the snake plant is has grown, but they grow a little slower. But snake plants are great. These are awesome, really fun, and super simple to grow. So snake plant is awesome. Okay. Next one is bamboo, and bamboo is a plant that I also started out with way back when in the townhouse. I think my sister or someone gave me a little bamboo and it grew so big, so big, so big. And we have a bamboo that we got from Costco when we moved in here, and it was a little tabletop bamboo, and now it is ginormous. I think it's in like a 30-inch pot, and I just repotted it, so I'll have to put a picture of it in its new home in my Instagram, but it is really massive. So bamboo is really cool because bamboo is also very easy to grow, and this is an example of thriving wood and water elements, usually grown in water, and they like bright indirect light, and they grow pretty fast, and you can divide them to share with friends. Now, when you get them from a gift or from the store, they usually come tied up in a ribbon. I personally take them off right away because it makes me feel sad that the plant is like shackled in its like handcuffs. I don't know, it makes me feel like it's cutting into the plant, and I don't like that. I want it to be able to grow on its own without being like tied up. I don't like how they like braid it all up. I just like them to be in their natural habitat. So bamboo is really great, and you can, like I said, you can divide it, and their roots are really cool and windy, and I like to put little stones in there, like river rocks in there, and just make sure that the water is staying pretty full most of the time because they really like that water. So the bamboo is awesome also. All right, next is one of my other favorites. I mean, I can't really have favorites because I just love them all, but String of Hearts. This is a fairly new succulent that I brought home. I don't have too many succulents, but the more that I learn about them, the more that I want them. And these, I love the string ones, like they just trail, and they are really beautiful because they kind of like to intertwine within themselves, and I think that is so cool. And I just love the texture of these String of Hearts. So you'll see that they kind of like intertwine with each other and they look like little hearts. How cute is that? And they actually have texture. They feel kind of thick like a little turtle shell, like the older ones. They kind of look like a little tortoise shell. These are so beautiful. I love String of Hearts. Okay, these are really fun. And String of Hearts have thick, deep green leaves like pads with silvery tortoise shell markings, and they love bright light, and they can trail up to about 4 feet on their own. So these are really, really fun and beautiful. I love the texture. I hope you can see that, but it's thick. You can kind of see it's like a little pad. How fun is that? So I love String of Hearts. This is one of my new favorites. It is unavailable from the grower on Amazon that I found, but I did find this at one of my local garden stores, but I haven't found any since I got it, but I am still on the hunt. But it's just so pretty and cute and fun. So I love String of Hearts, okay? The next one is English Ivy. And English Ivy is smooth, shiny, evergreen leaves. They love to trail. They're pretty fast growing. This is one of my newer ones. The one that I have that's older is trailing. It's in my office on the top ledge, so it has lots of room to trail. So I put this one on show for you today. But English Ivy is really pretty. It needs about medium to bright light, so great in an office, great where you have a nice open window in the front of your house. Maybe they do great in offices. So an office plant, English Ivy is great, or maybe like in your front entryway where if you have windows by the sides of your door. Really, really fun and simple and easy to grow. Okay, and then the next one is Spider Plant. So this is also one of my favorites and really cute and fun. And Spider Plant, they form these mounds of narrow leaves. Okay, so you can kind of see there's like two main mounds right here. There's one kind of like pigtails, and then they create these fun little offshoots. And how cute is these? How cute are these? So what I want to show you about the Spider Plant, I just have so many things to share with you, is that I propagated a spider plant and it got so big that I planted it in here. And so I want to show you how fun that is, because what you do is you just take one of the offshoots and you put it in water, just kind of like with the stem down like this. You just snip it at one of the nodes and you put this in a little shallow cup of water, and then it starts to grow roots. And you can create your own plants. So you really can be your own plant mom because you're creating new ones. So, and I also wanted to show you, and we'll talk about propagating in a second, but I wanted to show you a ZZ plant that I'm propagating right now, which just means you're taking a clipping of it and you're putting it in water, or you can put it in soil and you're growing roots from it. But this is a ZZ plant. This is a little stem that I cut off from it, and look at the roots that started to grow. How cool is that? Like, you might not think that that's that neat because it looks kind of weird, but those are brand new roots. And when I cut this, it was completely blunt. I just chopped it with gardening shears, and these are all the roots that have created from being rooted in water. How fun is that? And when the roots get about 3 to 4 inches long, then you can put it in soil. So this is a great way for you to create even more plants from the ones that you already have, right? And I just think that is so cool too. Okay, the next one is a Chinese evergreen. Oh, and actually I forgot to say, I got distracted. I wanted to mention with the spider plants that these like to grow in indirect light. So that makes them really simple to grow, really easy to grow. They don't need a bright sunny window. They like indirect light, and they're great for living rooms or common areas. They're also really commonly seen in hanging baskets. So if that's the kind of decor style that you like, I'm 5'2". It's really hard for me to reach to water hanging baskets. So I don't have any hanging baskets in my house, but, and when I have to water the ones on top of my desk cabinet in my office, I need a step stool. So there you have it. But if you are tall and you can reach your hanging baskets, then by all means, have lots of hanging baskets with lots of spider plants and take a picture and send it to me. The next one is Chinese evergreen. Now this is really big, so it's behind me over here. And this is a Chinese evergreen. Let's see if I can bring this over, this beast. Okay, so this is a Chinese evergreen. Hi. And they have long, narrow silver leaves marked with dark green. Okay, so these are really, really pretty and big and fun. And this one's kind of new because it's curled, so you can kind of see that it's unfurling. And there's lots of new growth under here. You can see sort of lots of fun new growth in there. So this is a Chinese evergreen, and there you go. And Chinese evergreens, they like partial shade and filtered light. So I have this Chinese evergreen actually in a corner of my office where it gets partial shade and it gets filtered light, and it's really, really happy. I had this in another spot and it got sunburned. It had scorch marks on the leaves, and what I did is I chopped all those down. And just because in perfect transparency, I want you to understand that all plant people, we go through challenges with all of our plants and we're learning. And it's important to embrace that. And if something doesn't do well and it doesn't thrive, we try again and we snip them off and we see what wants to grow next, right? And so you can kind of see some of these darker areas where I had chopped off a while ago, probably like 4 or 5 months ago, and it had regrown in other spots. So pretty neat. And they kind of like shrivel up when those areas are chopped and done. So, and we can talk about that more in depth in the future if you have any questions about, you know, plants that might not be thriving the best. The app that I'm going to share with you in a little while is great because you can take a photo of your plant in whatever state it's in, and it will identify what is wrong with the plant and provide you some first aid suggestions. The book is also going to do that as well. It has a whole section in there for first aid, that if something's going on with your plant, like if it's too dry or if it's been overwatered, then by uploading a photo of it, it will be able to help identify that for you. So whenever that happens, you know, you can just use your resources, and it doesn't mean you need to throw the plant away. It just means that you can snip off some of those areas and let some new growth come in a new environment. So that's why it's important to be aware of what your plant's needs are. And when you keep kind of a tab on them, which is why the printables are fun, because you can kind of poke around and make observations and kind of make it a little fun activity for yourself. And then the last but not least, is my, well, I can't have favorites because I love them all, but one of my newfound favorites is the Fiddly Fig. And I waited a long time before I bought my first Fiddly Fig, which is also called a ficus, because I felt intimidated. I thought, oh, you know, that's so wow, like it has such wow factor. I feel like intimidated by it. And then I thought to myself, that's ridiculous, and I'm not going to let that stop me. I want to try it. And I feel pretty confident with my ability to use my resources and Google things and, you know, all the books and things that I have access to. So I figured, you know what, we're going to give it a try with a Fiddly Fig. And I have 4 Fiddly Figs now in all sizes. And I'm even propagating one successfully, which I'm really proud about. And I love them. So I have 3 different ones to show you in different stages. So this is a little countertop Fiddly Fig, and this is about an 8-inch pot. So when we talk about the size of an average plant that you want in your home, this is about it, okay? And so you can see from different angles how beautiful these leaves are. And I also have a big Fiddly Fig behind me. This one is like about my height, a little bit shorter than me, but this is another one, and you can see that the leaves are like these beautiful, like guitar-shaped, violin-shaped leaves. They're just absolutely beautiful. I am so in love with Fiddly Figs. I think they have really cool appeal, and I love the shiny green of them when they're clean. I love them. They're absolutely incredible, and if you've never had a Fiddly Fig, I think you're gonna really love how it feels in your home, and it just feels, I love it. I feel like it just adds so much depth and dimension, and it's like a conversation piece. So they have, like I said, they have dark leaves that are like glossy, guitar or violin shaped. They need consistent, bright filtered light. So you don't want them to have too much light, and they will let you know, because this one, when I brought it home from the garden store, it had a little bit of sunburn on it, and you can kind of see like some dark spots. And and you know, those are things that you can work on. You can help heal your plant. So by using the mist that we're going to make and by doing all the things we're going to do, you can help your plants heal. And so it doesn't mean that you see a plant that doesn't look its best at the store and you pass on it because this plant is really healthy. It was just that 1 or 2 little areas that had a little bit too much sun. And so we're going to work through those challenges together, and we're going to get it looking really great. But they're so fun, and I love them, and they actually grow, I think, pretty quickly. Now, what's cool is that I snipped a little node off of one of them when I brought it home, not this one, but another one. And I want to show you something really cool, okay? This is just an empty essential oil bottle. Look what happened. That is all new root growth. So you can see where I snipped it at the end of the node, and that was just a blunt cut. And now this is an entire root system that has created all on its own just from being in water, alkaline water in my office, and I've been spraying it twice a week with my grow mist. And I am so proud of this because my very first propagations, like it didn't work, it didn't take. And so I was kind of getting disappointed, and I kept going, and now I have like 15 propagations happening all over my house. But I'm really excited about this because when these roots get a little bit longer, I can give this as a gift to somebody that I grew from just snipping a plant of mine and growing it in water by itself. And then you can have this beautiful plant that is a starter plant for somebody. How fun is that, right? And so Fiddly Figs are really beautiful, and I just encourage you to try them out and just grab one and see what you think of it. But this is so beautiful. The leaves are really thick and hardy. And they just look really beautiful. And this, at the top, you can, well, it's hard to see from this angle, but there's some new growth happening on top of there. And so when I brought it home from the store, even though there are some little spots of sunburn, I know that I can bring this plant back to life, and it looks beautiful otherwise. So it just kind of goes to show you that when you nurture the plants and you give them that time and effort and energy and emotional labor, they're giving you so many gifts each day, and you get to help that plant along the way too. So it's really fun. So we're gonna keep an eye on this one, but I have a really large one in my living room also, and then this one is in my office, and then this tabletop 8-inch one is in the kitchen, and then I have another one in my entryway. So I'm really learning, really enjoying these Fiddly Figs, and I hope that you enjoy my top 10, okay? So now, as always, I want you to experiment and see how a plant does in a particular spot. Now, to prevent what is called phototropism, where the plant is leaning toward the sun, if it doesn't have enough nutrients, what I like to do, and I've talked about this a lot, I like to rotate my plants. So I want to show you, for example, this is one of my small pothos that's brand new, and you can see there's a lot of new growth there. This one is just brand new. Some of these leaves are brand new, they're smaller. This, you can tell that it's leaning this way, okay? And it was doing that when I brought it home from the garden store. So what I want to do is I want to rotate it every time that I water it, or every time that I notice new growth happening. I want to just keep rotating it. And this is just something I personally have found to be really helpful from my knowledge, from my reading, from research I've done, that you don't want a plant to just be draping on one side. Now, where was the pothos that I had over there? Let me grab it. You can see that it is doing that. And so what I like to do is every time I water this, I like to rotate it toward this side, because you can see that this side is a little bit more bare and this side is draping. So I want this side to get a little bit more nutrients so that it is not feeling like it has to pull this way to get to the nutrients. So hopefully that makes sense. But if you see that your plant is not centered and full on all of its sides, then that's just a little indication that it might be experiencing some phototropism, and you can just move it every week or 2 or 3 or every month, or just make note of it in your little sheet, and that might be something that's really helpful for you along the way. I also like to redecorate with my plants frequently. So if you see a plant is really doing well in a spot, you can keep it in that kind of light, but maybe either rotating it or putting it in a series with some other plants, maybe something that's a little higher and a little lower, so you get a kind of nice visual interest happening in your house. Now, where to buy houseplants? This is a very popular question that people ask me, where to buy them. So the best place to buy houseplants is your local family-owned garden center. If you can support your local mom and pop family-owned garden centers, that is the first place that I would love for you to go. And most garden centers are open, so go with your mask on, go with your Onguard hand spray or whatever, and have your list. And if you need them to help you, they can guide you to where the houseplants are. Usually they have a greenhouse, or they'll have a sign that says houseplants. But recommending you go to your local mom and pop garden center, because they are trained. They are so knowledgeable. They know plants inside and out, and they will give you great recommendations. You can explain situations. You can bring them plants that are maybe under duress or have some issues with the leaves. You can bring them and they'll help diagnose the issue. but support your local mom and pop garden store first. Now, if you cannot find what you're looking for there, you can always go to like Home Depot or the big box stores. And Home Depot usually does have a great selection. The challenge with that is that the employees are not trained in horticulture. They don't know anything about plants most of the time. And it's not to be like offensive to them. They are, I'm sure, great at what they do. But when you work at Home Depot, you probably don't need to be a horticulture expert. Whereas when you work at a garden center, that is the knowledge that is expected of you to work there and be able to support people with garden questions. So just as a tip, try to go to your local garden centers first. If you can't get what you need there, then you can hit up Home Depot. Now, if you don't want to go to the store right now, if you want to stay online, Amazon has a lot of great relationships with growers that are also people that are partnered with Home Depot, partnered with some of the mom and pop stores where they are, you know, growers in Florida, a lot of them, and they're shipping their plants all over. So I've linked for you probably just about all these varieties of plants in my Amazon favorites under the gardening list. So if you cannot find one of the plants that I mentioned here, reach out to me and I can guide you to where you can buy a good quality plant online. I've even bought ferns for my front steps about a month ago, and they are doing really well. I got them from Costa Farms, which is a grower in Florida, but they work on Amazon and they also ship to Home Depot. They do the Fiddly Figs, they have the ferns, they have so many different plants there. So now we're gonna do our demo real quick for you because this is a fan favorite that I did on Instagram. I showed you guys my Grow Girl Healthy Leaf Mist. A lot of time went into developing this blend. I'm so excited that it worked out really well, and I've waited so long to share it, and so I'm really thrilled that you guys are loving it, the ones of you that have tried it so far. Once the formula was finished, I tested it out with those 3 new plants that I brought home and I put in the guest room. I let them sit on the dresser there, just sequestered for a month, and I would spray them 1 to 2 times a week, and they started thriving. And I thought, okay, I'm really onto something. This is really doing well. I don't want to kill any of my other plants, so I'm going to wait another month. And then I enlisted the help of one of my oilers who lives in California, Valerie. So Valerie, if you're watching, thank you so much for helping be my super secret top operative. And she trusted my oily ways, and she tried using this mist also for her houseplants, and they thrived. And I shared the before and afters on Instagram, and you guys went crazy for it. And so many of you have sent me progress pictures from that. And so this is the 2 months to the day of when she started using this mist, and it is so awesome. I am really excited for you guys to try it. I'm sorry, it's been 3 months for my plants that I've been using it, but it's been 2 months for Valerie since the test subjects that she used it on. And so I wanted to add that into our conversation tonight so that for those of you that are watching and maybe you're not on Instagram or you're not on Facebook and you didn't get to see that, you can have this recipe here, okay? So it is super simple. What you're gonna do is grab a bottle of any size. It just needs to have a misting top on it, a spray bottle. So this is a 6-ounce glass bottle that I got on Amazon. It's also in my Amazon favorites. It's really pretty and decorative. It's beautiful. I like to perch it on one of my shelves. But I have a lot of plants. I have like 50 or 60 plants at home. So I like to have my Grow Girl mist in a larger bottle, a 16-ounce bottle also. So I keep this one downstairs, and I also keep this one underneath the sink so that if I need to go upstairs to my plants, I've got all of those covered. I can come down. I've got this to do some of my smaller plants. But either way, it's all good. Whichever size bottle you want to use is fine. So whatever size you're going to use, you want to do 1 drop per ounce of that number of drops per oil. So if you have a 6-ounce mister, you're going to be using 6 drops per oil, okay? And like I said, since I have a lot of houseplants, I like to make a large batch, but what you can do is pour the large batch into your small bottle and then you are good to go, okay? So as always, choose your own adventure, but start small and scale from there just to make sure that you like it and that it works well for you. So again, the ratio is 1 drop of oil per ounce of water, so you can use any spray that you have. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is add our essential oils, and this is the fun part because we get to get in the test kitchen with our oil. So we're gonna start with lemongrass, okay? So the first oil we're using is 6 drops of lemongrass. And then the next oil that we're using is geranium, 6 drops of geranium. Oop, a little gnat in my face. Get out of here. Gnat now. 4, 5, 6, okay. And then our frankincense. And all these oils encourage plant growth, especially when your plants are young or you're just bringing them home from the garden center and they may be a little traumatized. Maybe they weren't cared for the best. Maybe they had a little too much sun. So it's really important to kind of like get them settled in their new home. So we're going to do 6 drops of frankincense. And the cool little side perk of this blend is that the oils smell incredible. And then we're going to top this with 6 ounces of water. And I like to use alkaline water. I have an alkaline water pitcher, an alkalizing water pitcher, but use whatever you have. Use tap water. You can just make sure that it is room temperature when you water your plants. You don't want to shock them with cold water. Okay, and so you don't want to overfill it and then lose any of your oils. We can probably fit a little bit more water in there. And I can't wait for you to tell me how you love this when you start using it. It's awesome. And then you just give it a little zhuzh, and there you go. You have your beautiful Grow Girl Healthy Leaf Mist, and you're going to lightly mist the foliage of your plants and the soil 1 to 2 times per week. Sunday is our plant checking day, so make it easy on yourself. Put something in your phone where it reminds you, and it's a recurring reminder every week on your phone, and you want to put this on a calendar just so that you don't forget, and then you get into the habit. And then try doing it on the same day, just again so you get into that habit, and try doing this during daylight hours, especially because you want to be able to observe what's happening in your plants. You want to know, is there growth happening? You want to know what is going on there, what new growth is happening. Is it getting too much sun? Is it not getting enough? Is it getting enough water? Is it a little bit dry? You know, what's happening in that plant. So that's why it's helpful that it might not need to be watered every week, but every week you're making that effort to check in on it, and that's really important and helpful too. So, and now also disclaimer, if you're not using doTERRA essential oils, please do not use this on your plants. So other oils that are impure, that have synthetics or fillers, they will harm your plants. So I don't want you to kill your plants, but if you're not using doTERRA, I cannot recommend that you use these oils on your plant. Like using a frankincense from Walmart or a geranium from Walmart, I can't recommend you using that on your plants because it's not going to end well. So don't do that. But you know, you just really want to mist them lightly. Now, if they're really struggling, you can do it every day. And Valerie did that with a couple of her plants that were really struggling. She started watering them. She just started misting them every day with the mist, and that really helps. So, you know, you just want to give it a light mist, and like just give it a little zhuzh, right? So you just want to kind of loosely mist your plants. And that's going to help the foliage, that's going to help the root system, and that's going to help the soil, and it's going to be amazing, and you're going to love it. Okay, now our next quick demo is my Plant Shine Done and Dusted Cleaning Solution. So this is really awesomely timed because I am out of mine because I just cleaned a bunch of plants over the weekend. Now, did you know that it is so important to dust your houseplants periodically? Put up in the comments, yes or no, if you have ever dusted your plants. Let me know if this is something that you do. But houseplants need more than water and sunlight to thrive. They actually really do. They need TLC, which is tender, loving cleaning, okay? Let's see, purple ivy, you're misting the leaves and the soil. So you wanna do both. Yeah, you wanna mist the leaves and the soil. You wanna get both of them. So you want to make sure that you are dusting and cleaning your plants thoroughly. So by removing the dust and by removing the dirt in the leaves, you're paving the way for healthier houseplants. It's really, really important. So plants, as we discussed, are using the sunshine to conduct photosynthesis. And when there's dust, when there is grime, when there is nasty stuff on that leaf, you're eliminating the opportunity for all of that light to be received and absorbed by the plant. So a dirty leaf surface can provide easier footing for for diseases on your plant, for bugs. It can hide insects underneath. If you are not realizing that there's like a coat of dust and grime and dirt, then there could have been bugs that are attached to that dirt on your plants that can eventually do a lot of damage to it. And I get questions all the time about how I keep my plants so green and shiny. And guess what? There are a lot of nasty products out on the market. You can even find at the garden store that are full of toxic chemicals and nasty, nasty things that will probably end up killing your plant, that are like plant shine substances. And this is a simple chemical-free, really simple solution that you can refer back to anytime. It's super gentle, it's simple, it's not gonna damage the foliage like a garden store or like a commercial product that contains maybe emollients or really heavy synthetics is gonna do to your plants, okay? So we're gonna just take a 16-ounce glass bottle. This is the one that I have. Use whatever you have. You can even use like a pickle jar, use a spaghetti sauce jar, whatever you have. Don't buy something special. I just had a case of these because I'm a crazy oil lady and I have cases of supplies in all the closets. So you're gonna start with 16 ounces of alkaline water. And again, I use an alkalizing pitcher. So if you don't have that, just use tap water because tap water is alkalized perfectly. It's just that we don't usually like the taste of it. So you can use your tap water, totally fine. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna add 1 tablespoon of Onguard cleaner concentrate to this water. Okay, so this is our Onguard cleaner concentrate. If you don't have this, you can use Castile soap, that's totally fine. And we're just gonna add 1 tablespoon to our water. And then we are gonna add 5 drops of lemon. Ta-da, lemon is in everything. And then you're gonna funnel this into the bottle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops of lemon. We're gonna funnel this into our bottle and then we're gonna be ready to rock. Okay, just put this to the side momentarily. Funnel this beauty in. And if you spill a little bit, it's okay. You get messy. There you go. Just like so. And now you have this awesome solution, and I can actually top that off with a little bit more water. You have this awesome solution now to clean all the foliage of your plants. Here we go. Okay. And now I like to leave a little bit of room because, and I'm gonna mix this up first before we use it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a microfiber, nothing hard like a hard washcloth. You want something pretty soft. This is like a nice microfiber. And what we're gonna do is wet this like you would, like if you're painting your nails or something and you just wet like a cotton pad. You don't wanna get it too soaking wet, but you just wanna get it a little bit moist. And you can pour this out a little bit if you want to, just like on the surface of wherever you're working, kind of like when you're taking off your nail polish remover. You just want to have a little bit of moisture there. And I'll grab a plant so that you can see. Let me grab one of these little guys. All my plants are clean, but that's okay. We can just show you what it looks like. So you just take the moist area of your towel. You just want it really a little bit lightly moist. And you're just gonna go down with the grains and the veins of your leaves just to get any dust and debris and dirt off of your leaves. So just really gentle. And what you can even do is take it in between your fingers like this, and you can just kind of like gently work the dirt and grime and dust out from all the crevices underneath and on top. So you can just kind of go back and forth. And you want to work your way all the way around the plant, just back and forth, a nice gentle dusting. Now, it's really important, you don't want the leaves soaking wet. So it's really important that you don't have your towel completely soaked. That's why I just like to take a little bit of the moisture from the solution and you can just go all over the leaves. Now you really want to focus on the inside area because that's where a lot of the dust is going to hang out there. So you just want to be super gentle because you don't want to break the leaves, you don't want to hurt the leaves, but you just want to work out with the veins. Just like with wood, you want to go with the grain and you just want to work your way all the way around the plant. And it's kind of therapeutic. It's nice, you know, but you just want to gently wipe it down. And this leaves the foliage nice and shiny and healthy and dust-free. And why does this do that? Well, the lemon and the gentle cleanser is going to dissolve the dust and any mineral deposits. It is like a massage. So those mineral deposits can collect on the leaves if you have hard water, if you got the plant from a garden center and it has nasty gray film on it, because that has happened to me a lot of times, that I'll see a plant and I'll maybe walk by it because I'm like, ooh, it looks gray and it looks dusty, and then when I realize, oh wow, I just take my finger on it and I just kind of swipe it and it's just dirt. And so I'm like, oh no, I can totally bring that home and clean it all up. And so when I bring a plant home after I repot it, the first thing that I do, well, I inspect it, you know, to make sure that it looks healthy, but the first thing I do is I will clean it very thoroughly, and then I'll give it the mist with my Healthy Leaf Mist in either of these bottles, and then make sure that it's nice and clean and hydrated, and make sure that it has really good, just a good foundation to start being its new environment and being able to thrive wherever you have it. So this isn't something you need to do often. This isn't something you need to do every day. This is just something that you want to do. You can queue up a personal development book. You can queue up a podcast, and you can just kind of poke around the house. Your kids can help you. You can do this whenever you're able to, but especially try to do this during the daylight, because you want to be able to observe your plant, see what's going on, identify if there's any issues that you need to address immediately. But doing the cleaning at night, you won't be able to see the dust and some of those particles that, like those mineral deposits. So, and then again, this is kind of a reason I like to do this on Sundays, because it's a little bit of a self-care practice. It's kind of relaxing and calming, and it makes me feel happy to see all my plants growing. Then it reminds me that I'm on the right track, that I'm doing well with that. So how do you know that it's time to clean your plants? Again, if you just take a finger swipe, just like, if you're looking at a shelf to see if it's clean or dusty or whatever, when you take your finger across it, you'll know that it's dusty because you'll have dust and particles on your finger. So if you just take your finger across the leaf and you feel dirt, then you'll know that it is not clean, and it's time to give it a little tender, loving cleaning. And then, you'll just start to feel a little bit more intuitive about what's happening with your plants when you keep aware of that. Now, just some quick tools and best practices. Propagating or clipping leaves is a great economical way to add more plants to your home and have little plant babies. So what I like to do is take different glass containers. You can get fancy ones, you can use mason jars, you can use, like I said, a pickle jar, you can use anything you have. You can use your empty essential oil bottles, which I love to do. I showed you my Fiddly Fig propagation here, and so you can have lots of little plant babies all over the house. Now this is a little pothos. You can see the heart-shaped green leaves like we talked about, and look at the root growth on this guy. How awesome is that? That's all brand new. So where you see the dark green stem, that's where I clipped it, and then that white is all new roots that when this is ready, I will be able to pot this in soil or give it to a friend. But how cute is this? And then for this pothos, it had a longer, I separated this one and it had longer roots, and I made sure that I kept a little bit of the soil with it just so that it transitioned really well. But look at how long these roots are. How awesome is that? So that's going to be a nice little fun variegated version. And then this is really beautiful too. I got this holder from Cocalico Creek, which is a store in Pennsylvania that a neighbor of mine turned me on to, and they ship all over. So if you need a link to that, I can help you with that. But this one, look at that long, brand new root right there. Whoa, that's all new growth. How cool. So all that is brand new, all that root, and this is brand new. So it was just a clipping, blunt like that, and then one of the offshoots just started growing roots. How fun is that? So you can have these fun propagations all over the house, and they just make really pretty potted plants afterwards. So just like I showed you with my spider plant, this started out as just one little baby offshoot, and I propagated this in water for about 3 months. And I think actually it was, ooh, my sleeve keeps getting caught in my board. I believe this was in maybe January that I started propagating it, and then just last month I potted it because it was ready. The roots were getting to be about 3 to 4 inches. Now, a moisture meter. This is one of my favorite tips, and my mom is the one that suggested that I get this, and this is really what started me out as feeling confident. This was the one main step that boosted my confidence with being a homeowner of lots of great happy plants, is a moisture meter, okay? And this is super inexpensive. It's in my Amazon favorites, like $7 or $8. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them sometimes at the garden store, but not always. They sometimes come with cords, and it's a little bit more fussy. So this is a really easy one. Cool thing is it also has a pH meter as well. So just make sure that when you bring it home that it says that it's on the moisture click, because otherwise you're going to overwater your plants because you're going to think that they need water and they don't. But this is a really great way to know if your plants need to be watered. And like I said, I don't water my plants every Sunday. If the plant doesn't need to be watered, I don't water it, but I check my plants every Sunday. Sometimes on Wednesdays or Thursdays too, if I've brought new plants home that I'm still learning about their growth pattern and I want to make sure that they stay hydrated. Also, as the weather gets more dry and as the humidity is higher, some of the plants, might need less water or more. So you just don't want to overwater them by thinking that you know. And the surprising thing that my mom taught me also is that you might think a plant needs water, but it really doesn't. And you might be surprised because you might look at it and think, oh, okay, it definitely needs water. And then when you put the moisture meter down in there, you realize, wow, it is It doesn't need water at all. And so you want to make sure that you are not overwatering your plants, because that's the kiss of death. You get excited, so you think more is more. You think, I need to water my plant every day, and that means I'm loving it more. And unfortunately, it's not. And every plant has different water needs. So weekly, when you walk around checking and you have your checklists and everything, you'll be able to keep track. And it's a really cool way to stay tuned to what the plant needs and not give it something that it doesn't need. So what I like to do is create a watering schedule. So at first, you get to know your plants, you get to know your climate. You use your moisture meter on Sundays, maybe on Thursdays. Check them midweek if you have the time and if you want to. Do not water them if they're at the halfway mark. Wait until they are dry. Most of the plant little cards that I've seen say, wait until your plant is dry before you water it. Because if you don't, then it could start rotting. It could have root rot. It could get overly wet, and then it doesn't have the proper drainage to be able to utilize all that water, and then it's going to damage the plant. So you can set a smartphone reminder again, so you don't forget. Just a suggestion. Now, there is an app that I love called Picture This. This is the app that I've been talking about. It's called Picture This. And if you're out somewhere and you want to identify a plant, if you're at someone's house, if you're at a garden center, if a plant that you see doesn't have a little tag on it, it can also help you diagnose any issues. So it's really, really helpful. But the moisture meter is absolutely number one. You absolutely need a moisture meter. Everyone that has even one houseplant needs a moisture meter. But the Picture This app is really helpful too, because you can identify your plants if you're not sure what it is, or if you threw the tag away. And if you get a few problems going on with your plants, it can help identify that. Now, another little tip that I love is, I keep attaching myself to this, my kimono, mulch. I actually like using mini pine bark nuggets. This is what they look like. And I just do a nice thin layer over the top soil of my plants. And I like the way that this just gives them a nice finished look, a nice finished look. So if you take a look at this spider plant, like you can see that I have the pine bark mulch on top, and I just like the way that looks. The same with my fiddle leaf. I just like the way it looks. I think it is really nice, and it also helps keep the moisture locked in, but not in a bad way, obviously, like loose. You don't want it packed down. You want it nicely aerated, just kind of loosely on top. But I really like the polished look of that on my houseplants. Now you also want to make sure that the plants you have they have a hole in the bottom, but that they have a saucer for water drainage, okay? Because all of the plants that you have need drainage. They bottom line, they need drainage. You're going to kill them. And so if you reflect back on maybe the first time you had a plant and maybe you killed it, and so you haven't had a house plant since then, if you didn't know that it needed to have a drainage hole, then you wouldn't have known the cause of death. And so it is really helpful to have a saucer for drainage. So every single plant that you have should have a hole at the bottom. And so it's hard to see it if I lift it up here, but see that hole there? That is a drainage hole, so that if I overwater it, that water can drain out here into the saucer and then get absorbed back into the pot. You will kill your plants if it does not have a drainage hole. Either you will overwater it and it'll get root rot, or it'll completely dry out because it just has no way for the oxygen to flow through. So I just highly recommend that you get plant saucers. Most of the garden centers have a ton of options for you. If you can't find pots with saucers attached, this is my favorite kind, where this is actually built into the pottery, where it's all one, it's attached. I love that. That is my favorite kind, especially like this one on the fiddle leaf, because it has a drainage hole that comes out like this. Okay, this is all attached in one piece. This is my absolute favorite kind, but if you can't find that, just make sure that you get the little plastic saucers. They don't look fancy, but in the meantime, until you can find something that works for you, get the little plastic saucers here. You can get them from anywhere. They're like 20 cents at the garden store. And you just want to make sure that every pot has a hole in it. If it's a plastic pot, you can drill holes in it, but if it's pottery, you can't do that. So I personally don't know why they sell pots without drainage holes, but they do. And a lot of them are online. So if you're going to do some plant shopping online and you're going to be buying pots, please, please, please make sure that it has a drainage hole. And if it doesn't say that it does or show that it does, just email the seller and confirm, because if it doesn't have a drainage hole, you don't want it. Even if you are going to put it in a pot that does have a drainage hole, guess what? Where's that water going to go? And that's what happens. People buy plants from the garden store because they're like, oh, it's in a little liner and I'll put the liner in a pot and that's fine. it's not fine because there's nowhere for the water to go. So just personal word of the wise, don't buy a pot unless it has a drainage hole at the bottom. Okay, now the printables. These are really fun. I'll link these in my Instagram bio. We've gone way over time, so I'm trying to make sure I get all this information to you. But these printables are fantastic. I laminated them so Olivia and I can go around the house and have fun with them. This one is just a basic overview. This has most of the plants that we talked about, right? So this has like the Fiddly Fig, it has the pothos, it has the spider plant, the snake plant, succulents, and it tells you, it just kind of gives you a little guide of the light that they need and how much water they need. And then on the back, I just laminated them front and back just to save paper. But then you can put the name of the plants down here and then the day that you water it. So if you watered it on a Sunday, then when you look back at your sheet, you'll know, okay, I watered it Sunday. Let's take a look and see, does it need water now, or what's going on with it? And then there's a weekly and monthly journal, which is also really neat. So this one's weekly. And so each week you can kind of track your plants. So you can say, like ZZ plant, and then you can say it had one spindle coming up, and then the next week you can say the spindle opened up, there's another spindle coming. Like, this is really fun stuff for you to teach your kids how to enjoy this with you, or you can enjoy this with your family. And so there's 4 weeks. So I printed 2 front and back just so that we'd have a lot of room because we have a lot of plants. And then this one's monthly. So it starts with January, and then I printed the July through December on the back. And you can just kind of see what's going on with some of your plants, any highlights or milestones. And if this is way too much minutia for you, don't even do it. But we think this is fun, and so we love it. And then, just kind of choose your own adventure with some of this. So these are fun printables. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you love them. I hope it gives you something fun to do with the kids all summer long, where they can learn about plants. You can watch this broadcast with them again. Maybe they'll like it, maybe they won't, who knows? But it's a fun science project maybe for them to track the growth of plants, and maybe they can do some creativity with plants and with plant cuttings and see what they learn from that. So, and then super quickly, because we've gone over our time, a few common issues that we all have with our houseplants at some time or another, pests. And one thing you can really do that will save you so much frustration is cleaning them thoroughly when you bring them home. So do the leaf shine and clean spray, and then you want to give them a nice drink with the grow mist, the soil and the roots and the leaves. But you also want to just be paying attention. So if you see gnats or little bugs, you can take a little tea tree and water, just 1 drop per ounce, a little tea tree and water, and just kind of spray it every day so that you can kind of get that going out of there. Any diseases like root rot, if you need to repot something, you can just ensure that it has proper drainage. So you might not have known that the drainage was the problem, that there was nothing wrong with the plant, but it didn't have a hole. So you're gonna love this. I'm so excited for you. Sunburn, especially if you are seeing plants like a fiddle leaf that maybe has a few little dark spots, it just means it's in the sun too much. It doesn't mean you've killed the plant. You can either snip that off, or you can just rotate it and play around with a new spot. Get that Compass app downloaded so you know exactly what's happening with the light in your home. If you have a north facing or a west or a south facing window, that will be a really good resource for you. And then of course, lack of light under a table lamp, under a cabinet light, any of those options are great for you, or you can get a stand to prop it up onto whatever light source that you might have. And then the picture, this app, of course, is just so good. It can make so many suggestions for you for plant first aid. Anything from the root rot to the leaves turning yellow to the bugs, any of those things, that app is going to be really great for you. Plus the book. So for those of you that are entering the giveaway, the book is awesome and it goes into all those details, and you're going to get a mister of the plant growth mist, which you're going to love. I'm so excited for this, for you to enjoy it. You can always come back here. We covered so much. You can come back anytime you need to refresh your memory about any of these things. Reach out anytime you have plant questions. I am not an expert by any means, but I have some experience under my belt, about 5 or 6 years of being a plant mom. And I hope you found this super empowering. I would love for you to reach out to me if you want to get started, if you want to learn more about essential oils, or if you want to get any of the promotions that I have currently going on right now. If you don't have your own doTERRA account and you are ready to dig into oils, I have put together a special bundle of all the oils that we use tonight. So that includes the lemon, the frankincense, the geranium, and the lemongrass, and also contains the Onguard cleaner concentrate. So I've bundled all of these tools together for you in a starter kit, and that is in my Instagram bio. You can tap that link and you can go directly to checkout if you want to get started. And I have a welcome gift for you, and I'm super excited to welcome you. My next Periscope broadcast will be part 2 of this, it's going to be all about the garden, the outdoor garden. So using our essential oils to help our outdoor garden. It's going to be awesome. So much education, so much information about plants and oils that I cannot even pack it into one. I'm like, oh my gosh, overtime. So I want you to get back to your evening. I want you to make your wish list of plants that you might like, that you saw, that I shared tonight. If you have any questions at all, of course, reach out to me. Thank you as always for holding space for me. I will see you next on my broadcast on July 11th, I believe. No, July 9th. Let me double check for you. Yes, July 9th. And that's when we will talk about the outdoor gardening and plant management for all those garden oils. So tag me or message me on Instagram or Facebook if you try some of these demos. If you clean your plants, take a before and after. It is shocking. Look at the little cloth that you're using. You'll see all the dirt and grime on there. Take a before and after before you start using your Grow Girl leaf mist. I would love to see how you love it and how your plants thrive. Plants helping plants. It is awesome. Plants help humans and we feel stronger and better and happier. It is awesome. So enter the giveaway, head to my Instagram and I will share the winner of that before 11 p.m. Or if you've commented here, you are already entered to win that as well. And that is a wrap on Periscope broadcast number 209. It was a major plant power hour and then some. I hope you learned many, many things. I hope you do not feel intimidated by plants. They're so fun. They are totally friends. We love them in every shape and size and color. And I hope you have a great night. So I will see you guys soon. Have a wonderful evening and a great weekend.